I'm on a quest to find my new reading challenge for 2024 because I think it's time to admit that my Goodreads reading challenge has not been the most successful. So we're going through a few different book clubs or prizes that I'm testing to see how I felt with past books, past winners, and seeing if I want to do that for the next year. If you see kittens or hear noises, they're absolutely insane. Like just before filming this, they were already chaotically going through my books, so we're just gonna have to bear with that. It's the morning, they have the zoomies, it is what it is. So I'm gonna be looking down on my laptop. We're gonna go through probably the last like maybe 10 years. I want to talk about the winners, but also some of the nominees. I'm gonna review all the ones that I have read, letting you know which ones I want to read. Some of them I might already have on my shelf. I have a feeling this one is going to be a lot more successful than the Reese Witherspoon book club that I've done just prior to this. I'll link that down below. I wanted to try to find something that was a little bit out of my comfort zone. This doesn't seem to be quite it. This one is definitely going to be right in my comfort zone, a lot of fantasy and sci-fi books. So we're going to focus on the novels and the novellas, some of them. So, oh my gosh. I should definitely lock them out, but at the same time, I know you guys find it very entertaining, so enjoy. So we're going to start from 2022 and go down for a while. We're not going to go down till 1965, let's just be honest. Almost 60 years worth of winter would be too much, but if I do end up choosing this challenge for next year, and I do it longer term, I will definitely go back more and more in time to find books that sound interesting to me. So for 2022, the winner was Babel by R.F. Kuang. I read that last year, did enjoy it. I do think it deserves to win. With that said, I feel like the beginning was stronger. I definitely liked the dark academia vibes. I thought it was going to be like found family vibes a little bit, but I feel like it kind of lacked in terms of character depth and just their growth. And the ending wasn't my favorite, but overall I did really enjoy this book. It's popular, I understand why it won. Out of the nominees, I've also read Legends and Lattes like everyone else. Super cute adult cozy fantasy and some a little bit of a sapphic romance too. If you just enjoy books that not much happens, this orc retiring and opening a coffee shop, it was just it was exactly what I needed at the time. I understand the hype. I also read Nettle and Bone. Took me by surprise. It's kind of an adult like fairy tale, and the character was really likable. I did listen to it as an audiobook, which I think made me enjoy it even more. But yes, this very sheltered princess goes on a mission to try and save her sister from an unsavory marriage. That's like a very gross description, but yeah, it was cute. I enjoyed it. So those are the only ones that I have read. I do see Nora the Night, which I need to continue this series. I have not read that. As far as novellas, the winner was Even Though I Knew the End. I have not tried that, but I had another book by the author on my waiting list at the library. It has been there for years. It might be a winner or a nominee in the past year. I would definitely want to check that out. As far as the other one, the only one I have read is Prayer for the Crowned Shy by Becky Chambers. She's one of my all-time favorite authors. I have read that. I have read basically every published novellas, at least, that she has written or books. And yeah, really enjoyed that. I think it's the best of the duology, so yeah, would recommend. Definitely let me know, by the way, if you have read any of these or any of the other ones. I can put a little picture of, I will have already done that, but of the other ones. If you see anything that you think I would enjoy it, let me know. But yes, that was for 2022. So 2021, so far so good, right? 2021, the winner for the best novel was A Master of Gin, which, is it a spoiler if I tell you? I'm currently doing my Read It or Unhaul It. And I might be reading that right now. It's going well, so. So as far as the other nominees, I have The Unbroken on my TBR, I believe. But that's basically it. A Desolation Called Peace. I have read the first book in this series. Unfortunately, didn't like it. Intrigue, like political intrigue in space, different planet. It sounds so cool, but for some reason I didn't care. So I didn't continue. Novella, I have not read the winner, but I have read A Psalm for the Wild Bill by Becky Chambers, the first one in that duology I just mentioned. The second book, super cute. I didn't mention what it was, but you're following this non-binary monk in a version of a world where one day robots got up, left us, and they strike an unlikely friendship with a robot. And book one was also good, so yeah. And that's basically it. I don't read a ton of novellas, but I do want to try more of them because I feel like I've been changing my mind. I feel like I used to hate shorter stories, shorter books, because I always thought that they felt like a skeleton of a story. Like they weren't, I wasn't satisfied by the end, but I've been changing my mind slowly but surely. So 2020. The best novel was Network Effect by Martha Wells. This is the first time I disagree. I love the first book in this series, loved it, and then completely lost interest. I tried. I think I read like 4 books, and I only cared for the first one, so I don't even want to talk about it. Is it the 4th one or the 5th one? Either way, no. As far as the other nominees, I have read a few. Black Sun, which I did enjoy. Adult fantasy, really strange. There are like flying giant crows. And it's one of the weirdest books that I have read, but in a good way. There's a second book, right? I've been meaning to continue. But yeah, this was a surprise for me. Enjoyed it. I also read Mexican Gothic. Personally, not a fan. Retelling of, what was it? I want to say Rebecca. Clearly, I didn't really care. I just was not. It started good. It started good. This girl goes to work in this remote manor for a family. Weird things in the walls. And I don't even know. At this point, I'm second guessing my description. But yeah, I just didn't care, to be honest. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Again, I started this as an audiobook for like an hour or 2 and put it down. Sometimes you just have like a really strong reaction, like against a book. I had that with it. I don't know why. I liked her other work. So, and Piranesi, this is the one I would have voted for, which also took me by surprise because it gives a little bit like magical realism vibes, which is not my thing at all, but I love this. Main character that lives in this giant house, and things are weird and just, it's vibes, okay? It's vibes, but it works. So yeah, love that one. Novella, Ring Shout. I have not read that, but since I'm not reading, this is so not a surprise. I'm reading the other book, obviously. Since I'm currently really enjoying that, I can see myself picking that up too, because I will want to read more by them. And I think that's it. Like I said, I have not read a ton of novella, but I do have Riot Baby and Finna on my TBR. I don't own them, but I will. Because at this point, it's already going fairly well. Obviously, a couple books that didn't work for me, but that's going to be the case for everything. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that challenge next year. We're only in 2020, so we've only done 3 years. So for 2019, the winner was A Song for a New Day, which I have not read. I have read Gideon Tonight, like I said, also one of the weirdest books that I've read. I like those weird, like, is it sci-fi, is it fantasy kind of books, and I've enjoyed this. The shortest way to describe it is lesbian necromancers. And the way it ends, I'm shocked that I haven't continued because the way it ends, but yeah, it's super weird. Oh, see? A Memory Called Empire, unfortunately didn't work for me. Do recommend it, just really wasn't for me. I have had the 10,000 Doors of January on my TBR for a while, but I've read another book by the author, couldn't finish it, so I don't know if I'm going to pick that up. And the winner for the best novella was This Is How You Lose a Time War, which I enjoyed okay. Didn't love the writing style. It's going to work for you or it doesn't, but I haven't read the other ones, although I do have The Deep on my TBR. I actually just bought it, which it should be right next to me if I can find it. Yep. Oh my god, can you hear that? They're breaking everything. I just bought this, so it will happen. Okay, 2018. The winner was The Calculating Stars, which I just bought because a lot of you recommended that one to me. I just finished another book by her. I swear to God, to driving me cuckoo. I just read this book by her and loved it. That was a strong year because The Puppy War was in there. I loved it. I know some people hate it, but I loved it. Then Witchmark is the one I was telling you that there was another book by the author on my TBR. This, I've been meaning to read this forever. I love witches, so I should have picked that up in 2018, but I didn't. And that's it. I thought I had read more. Never mind. Novella, the winner was The Tea Master and Detective. I have not read that. I have not read... That's not true. I did read Artificial Condition from the same Murderbot series that we're not going to talk about anymore. 2017! This is still going fairly well, okay? The winner was The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. Loved it. Such a, again, kind of strange series because of the writing style in that case, because a lot of it is told second person, you, which can be really confusing. But one of the best world building, mix of like post-apocalyptic fantasy. Loved it. This is the last book in the series, and I'm happy with the ending. There's nothing worse than hating the ending of his trilogy that you've loved. So yes, this was good. I also just read Jade City. Well, that's not true. I read Jade City a couple years ago, which I'm surprised the rest of the series wasn't at least nominated because I just finished the whole trilogy and oh my god, all-time favorite fantasy. I need to do a video on that topic one day, maybe after I've done a year of this challenge, but this is so worth it. So worth it. 6 Weeks. This was a fun sci-fi, like adult, almost murder mystery locker room kind of thing, in a version of a world where people can live in like a clone body. You have this group of people in a spaceship on a mission, and then they wake up and they've all been murdered, like their other body, and they wake up not remembering because they haven't been able to save their memories, so it has to be one of them. So that was a really interesting topic to explore. The execution was still good. I tried to read Autonomous. Can't pronounce that. I couldn't get into it. So, best novella was All System Red by Martha Wells. Love that one. Do recommend it. I will pretend it's a standalone in my head. And I haven't read the other ones. 2016. The winner was All the Birds in the Sky, which I think I own that. I have not read it yet, at least. The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. Yes, fantastic. Recommend it. I've seen Nine Fox Gambit quite a bit, which I'm pretty sure I own a copy. This is not a good sign that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I do because the cover is like really stuck to my mind. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The best novella winner was Every Heart a Doorway, which I think is the first book in that series, which I did enjoy. My favorite, I think, is the fourth one, which people will have a favorite. Different world, magical world where children disappear. That's the only one. Oh no. The French was coming out. The other one I have read is The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval, which I've read that randomly when I started Booktube, loved it, and I've been meaning to read anything else by him, and I have so many books now that I've seen of him that I really want to read, like is it Changeling? And I just got, I think it's Lone Women. I will read both of them, hopefully next year. But yeah, I want to read more by him because that one was one of the best like urban fantasy I have read. I have not read a ton, but like horror, it's really short, would recommend it. Obviously it's in the novella section, but would recommend. 2015, the winner for the best novel was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I tried so hard to like this, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. First off, to be fair, it was sold to me as a young girl from a small village gets taken in by the dragon who just steals a girl every couple of years, blah, blah, blah. Turns out the dragon is a man, which is not a spoiler. It's literally first chapter. So like I was sold a lie. Didn't help. But he's basically teaching her magic, really, kind of. But essentially he's being really abusive. And like when I put it down about halfway point, it looks like they were going to have a relationship. And I was like, no. No. So yeah, wasn't a fan of that. Also, the magic. I always call this magical realism. I don't know why. Let's not question it. But it felt very like, ooh, it's fake, nature, la la la, long sentence. I just do not work. Yeah, not my thing. Unfortunately, couldn't get into it. So I've tried more books by her, and even though I have finished them, I just don't. She's just not for me, and that's okay. The other nominees I'm seeing: The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, obviously the first book in that series. Yes, recommend. I see a few that are on my shelves. The Grace of Kings, which I've heard really fantastic things. Is it the first book in a series, or is it just a standalone? I don't remember, but it's an adult fantasy, and yeah, it has been on my shelf for a while. It has been on my shelf for a while. I think what I'm going to do, because now it's pretty clear I'm going to be at least doing that one, maybe the Yugo or two, and I might do like bonus vlogs of testing other ones. That could be fun. I think what I'm going to do is when I announce that it's going to be my challenge, I'm going to grab all the ones that I have on my shelf so we can see my shameful amount, and then I can go through them throughout the year. Maybe I'll do like a shelf of just them or something in the background, and I can just, you know, pick through that throughout the year, and I'll probably buy more throughout the year because of course. I also have Ancillary Mercy. Is that the first book or the last book in that series? I do have the trilogy. I have stopped doing that, by the way, buying the whole trilogy, even though I buy most of my books used. Sometimes when I see the whole series, I'm like, maybe. But I'm trying not to do that anymore because I have been burned a few times. Winner for the best novella was Binti, which I did enjoy. This one is like sci-fi where it's not a magic system when it's sci-fi. How do you say that? I don't know. Maybe it's a mix of fantasy sci-fi. The magic system is based on like math, which was really unique. Enjoyed it. It was really unique and it's quite short. So yeah, I think that's the only one I have read. 2014. Oh, we have beef. We have beef. The winner for the best novel is Inhalation by Jeff Vandermeer, which I have read. Did not vibe with it. I resent books that end too vaguely. I know it's a trilogy, but I read the first book and I liked what it wanted to do. Like, it's a sci-fi, a team of women are sent to explore. You don't even have names. You're following, I think it was the biologist that you're following, and you do get creepy vibes. I'm assuming it's aliens. Again, I've only read the first book in the trilogy. And I did have one moment, specifically when she's going down the tower, I was really uncomfortable, which, like, if you want to write a horror book, making me uncomfortable, not easy, and this one did it. But I don't think it was better than The Three-Body Problem. This series was so weird and unique. I've been asked so many times, like, oh, do you have anything else to recommend that is similar? No, I'm not sure it exists. It's a first contact with aliens. And, like, usually I feel like aliens, it's either like it ends with the contact or like it's just too vague or just straight up battle. And I feel like this one was just so interesting. The concepts, the science. I don't know if it's all true, but I believe the author is an engineer. Anyway, not easy. My only complaint about this trilogy is that, is it sexist? Like, I understand cultural differences. I don't care. It's sexist. Do be prepared. The first book is just pretty strange. Book 2, half the book is about his ideal woman who could be essentially be described as a child. And then the third book, I remember also the men in the future, which, being vague, are described as being too feminine, and it's obviously a really bad thing. A lot, but the concepts. So yeah, it's a good example of, like, if you can, like, not look at that, the book is still worth it. But if you do look at that, it's not so worth it. See, Ancillary Sword. So that must be book 2 in that series. I have not read that, obviously. And The Goblin Empire, which it is on my TBR for this month. Really not going to happen. But I really want to read this. It's an adult fantasy standalone. People say that there are other books, but there are more companion novels. Either way, I keep seeing it. I keep being told this is amazing. And I've owned this for like 5+ years and I just never picked it up. It happens, okay? Like, look at my shelves. I tend to buy books because I see them, especially, again, I buy them used. If I see them, it's so exciting. You're like, oh my God, I've seen that book. I know that book. I buy it. And then some of them just slip into the cracks and then you're there 5 years later and you're like, ooh, I was supposed to read that. So yeah. The novella winner, Yesterday's Kin, never heard of that. And I have not read anything else. Okay. 2013. So I said 10 years. We're just doing that? Maybe more. We'll see. How long is this video? Oh, we have time. Oops.
Hello, this is a call from Visa Security Department.
Honestly, this is the worst. I'm waiting for a call because my dad is having surgery and getting a scammer call is just fucking... We're gonna continue. Best novel for 2013. The winner was Ancillary Justice. Okay, the first book in this trilogy. I want to read that, obviously. I know it's an adult sci-fi. That's basically all I know, and I'm seeing spaceship on the cover, you know? The other ones, there were nominees that year. The only one I have heard of is The Golem and the Genie. This is an adult fantasy. I bought it because it was a standalone, and now it's a duology. That's the reason why I haven't picked it up. To be fair, I have been resentful when that happens, but that's not the reason I haven't picked it up. I do want to eventually. And I haven't read any of the novellas. 2012. The winner for the best novel was 2312. I believe I do own that, actually, but I have not read that. I haven't read anything by the author. I know I have heard, or I have the first book in that series, Red Mars or something. I have read a lot of things. To be fair, I was burnt too many times with, like, older, not really sci-fi authors, male authors, okay? There's only so much sexism I can take. I love sci-fi, but I've been a lot more picky with the authors I've been reading. And I have been spoiled because I've been reading, like, some Becky Chambers, Octavia E. Butler, like, authors I've been really enjoying. So now I'm like, why would I read something else when I can just keep reading all of their books instead? But I do want to read that, and that's basically it. I haven't read anything else. I'm scared I'm going to skip a year for some reason. 2011, the winner was Among Others. I have not read that. I have not read any of those, actually. Yeah, at this point, I go back and I'm not seeing anything that I know. I thought I was more up to date with older ones, but I guess not. No, still nothing for 2006, so we're going to stop here. Verdict. Even though I didn't like everything, I think I've enjoyed a lot more books from this prize than the Reese Witherspoon book club. So I think this is a very strong contender. I do want to do like the Hugo Awards, and there are a few other ones that you've mentioned that I think could be fun to just explore. Even if I don't do like a full year challenge with it, I could do like reading vlogs where I read like 2 or 3 of them and just see if I'm enjoying them, the recommendations or not. I'm always looking for more places to find book recommendations. So this one is definitely a strong contender since I have so many of the other nominees and winners on my shelves already, or I could get the other ones from the library. So I think this is a strong possibility for me. So I hope you've enjoyed the reviews, and you can let me know in the comment section if you think I should pick this challenge, which probably, and if you agree, disagree with books I've mentioned, if there are the ones that you think I should pick up. And that's it. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will put more videos on the screen, and I'll see you in my next one. Let me grab a cat for you. This is my giant old man. Can you believe this is a 6 months old cat? He's not 6 months. You cannot convince me that he's 6 months old. He's such a lovely baby. Look at him. Oh, so cute. He's like, what are you doing?